I was standing next to the cake table when my 13-year-old niece, Ava, opened the plastic wrap on the iPhone I gave her. She giggled, holding the box carefully like it might break. "Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice." She said it like a joke, quiet and sweet-sounding, but meant to hurt. Across the room, people laughed, relaxed and happy. My sister Rachel, Ava's mom, sat on the couch, sipping wine. She didn't even look up. She had a small smile on her face, like everything was going just how she wanted. My mom was in the kitchen, stirring something she wouldn't eat. She didn't speak, but her shoulders lifted just a little. I knew that meant she agreed. My dad, sitting in his usual chair near the glass doors, didn't even try to hide it. He raised his beer and said, laughing, "Well, she's not wrong. That's how my family hurts people. They don't yell, they laugh." Uncle Dennis laughed into his napkin. My cousin Claire, who still owes me money for a dental emergency, clapped like Ava had told a great joke on TV. And me? I just stood there, like always. I bought the phone. I paid Ava's school fees last fall when Rachel didn't. I added them all to my Netflix account because Mom couldn't figure out how to set it up. I was always the one who showed up. And now, I was the one they said wouldn't be missed. Ava looked up at me, smiling sweetly. "Thanks for the phone, Aunt Viv." I nodded, swallowing hard. "My name is Vivian Hale. I'm 36, old enough to know when you're not wanted, even if you're the one paying for everything." I didn't say anything. I pulled out my phone, 2 taps. Turned off the utilities, cancelled the streaming services, cut the shared phone line, stopped the mortgage payment. Just like that, I disappeared. No one noticed. And that was the last thing I ever gave them for free. I didn't stay for the cake. They were lighting candles when I grabbed my coat from the hook near the laundry room and walked out. No one followed. No one noticed. Outside, the cold air hit my throat. January in Ohio always reminds you what silence feels like. That sharp air between your coat and your skin. The kind that makes you hunch your shoulders without thinking. I didn't go straight home. I drove to my apartment across town. A small third-floor place with no elevator and bad heating. I'd lived there for 7 years, long enough for the carpet to remember my steps. But that night, it didn't feel like mine anymore. It felt like a waiting room. I took off my shoes, not because it was a habit, but because it felt like something ending. I wasn't in a rush. I didn't cry. I didn't scream or pack like you see in movies. I made tea. Then I opened the closet and pulled out an old black backpack from college. The fabric was worn and the zipper was stiff. But it still worked. I packed it slowly. A folder of bills I'd paid. A thumb drive labeled Family Records. The prepaid slips for Ava's school. A photo of me and Grandma June, back when she could still beat me at Scrabble. And a folded legal paper. It was a quitclaim deed, signed and notarized, giving me full ownership of Grandma's lake house. Dated 6 months before she died. No one else knew. Rachel still talked about the house like it was hers. "The kids love it up there," she'd say. "We might fix it up one day." I never corrected her. I used to think letting them believe it was easier. But the house is mine, and I'm done explaining. I zipped the backpack and set it by the door. Then I packed a second, smaller bag, just the basics, a change of clothes, toothbrush, phone charger, flashlight. I sat for a long time. The apartment sounded the same as always, the soft hum of the fridge, the distant noise of cars, the heater clicking like it was trying to work but couldn't. Nothing dramatic happened, just life moving on without me. At 2:13 a.m., I stood up, put both bags over my shoulder, and turned off the lights. No note, no goodbye. I drove through the dark city streets. Their neighborhood was calm, the kind of calm that comes when people never worry about bills or heat. They never had to worry, because I always paid. Until now. I walked quietly up the path to my mother's house. But I wasn't taking anything. I was giving something back. I left the black backpack at the bottom of the stairs where someone would find it in the morning. Then I left. Really left. By the time they opened it, I was already across state lines, heading toward something they never knew they'd lost. People say systems don't break all at once, first slowly, then suddenly. By 7:41 a.m., Rachel had called me 4 times. By 8:12, my mom texted, "Something's wrong with the Wi-Fi, can you check?" By 8:26, my dad's pharmacy app stopped working. By 9 o'clock, the heat shut off. I didn't answer. Instead, I sat in a small diner 2 towns away, drinking bad coffee that tasted burnt, watching the parking lot slowly fill up as people started their day. By noon, the silence from my family broke. Rachel texted again, this time from another number. "Vivian, what the hell is going on? Mom's freaking out, Dad's yelling, the utilities are messed up, the cable's out, Ava has a test this week and the internet is gone." I let the phone ring. Then another message. Is this your way of punishing us? Seriously, grow up? I smiled. Not because it was funny, but because I knew that panic well. I'd just never been allowed to feel it with them. At 2:37 p.m., I got an email from the mortgage company. Auto payment cancelled, past due. They'd never seen that kind of email. I used to keep it from them. At 4:12 p.m., a message from my mom. Vivian, your father is very upset. I don't know what you're doing. This family is falling apart. Falling apart? Funny, she used to hold her wine glass tighter than she ever held me. Anytime Rachel messed up, she'd say, she's just figuring things out. You're the stable one, Vivian, thank God for you. It wasn't thanks, it was passing the job to me. And I wasn't doing it anymore. At 6:45 p.m., someone knocked on my door. 3 sharp knocks, then again, this time louder. Vivian, open this goddamn door. It was my father's voice. He hadn't been to my apartment in 5 years, not since I moved out so Rachel could move back home after her divorce. I stayed quiet behind the door. You think cutting us off makes you strong? The doorknob rattled. We raised you. You owe us. You're not better than us, you're just bitter and have a paycheck. He waited. I waited longer. Eventually, he mumbled something, maybe a curse, maybe my name, and walked away. His footsteps sounded slower than when he arrived. I sat back at my table, the same table where I ate Thanksgiving dinner alone 2 years ago, because they had a smaller family dinner that year. Smaller always meant without me. I made pasta. Opened a bottle of wine I'd been saving, for no one in particular. By 10 p.m., Rachel posted on Facebook asking if anyone else's utilities had been hacked. A cousin replied, "Isn't Viv your IT sister? Maybe she can fix it lol." Rachel didn't answer. The next morning, I woke up to 26 missed calls, 7 from my mom, 9 from Rachel, 3 from Ava, for the first time. One message just said, "There's a black bag by the stairs, was that you?" I didn't reply. She's the one who said no one would notice if I disappeared. Now they couldn't stop looking. They opened the bag together. My mom later told a neighbor about it, I think. I wasn't there, but I know how it happened. The bag sat by the stairs for a day and a half, no one touched it. They thought it was just something Ava forgot, or a drop-off from one of Rachel's friends. No one thought of me. Not until the water was completely shut off. They didn't open the backpack until Rachel's new husband had to shower at the gym, because the water in the house had gone cold. It was just a plain black bag, the kind you leave in a closet and forget about, nothing special, nothing you'd think mattered. But inside was everything they had chosen to forget. The first thing my mom pulled out was a folder. Inside were printed copies of utility bills from the past 4 years. Each one had a yellow sticky note, paid by V, hail, electric, gas, trash, cable, even pest control. Then came receipts from my dad's pharmacy, co-pays, delivery charges, inhalers. I'd been the one fixing his account whenever he forgot the password. He thought the system remembered, he didn't know it was me. Next were school invoices, 2 of them, from Ava's private art school. Rachel used to say they had a scholarship, maybe part of it, but the rest? It came from my bank account. There was also a grocery list in my mom's handwriting. I had written a note on the back. Paid March 12, 19. You told me not to tell Dad you forgot the card again. Then they found the flash drive. I don't know when they finally plugged it in. Maybe they were scared it had a virus. Maybe they hoped it was empty, but it wasn't. It had 4 folders, audio, documents, screenshots. June. June was Grandma. I saved every voicemail she ever left me. There weren't many, but the last one came just before her stroke. Her voice was weak, but clear. Vivian, sweetheart, I signed the papers. The house is yours. I know they won't like it. I don't care. You're the only one who showed up. Keep it quiet until you need it. Then she laughed softly. Lord, they'll hate this. Good. There was a scanned copy of the deed, too, signed by June Hale, notarized, filed under my name, full ownership of the lake house in Knox County, the one Rachel redecorated last year without asking, the one my dad still called the family legacy. I imagine they went quiet after that, after seeing all the bills, the names, the notes, the voicemails, the screenshots of Rachel calling me, just a paycheck in a pantsuit. And then there was one more thing. A photo. Old, a little faded. Me and Grandma June sitting on the porch swing at the lake house. I was around 13, she was holding my hand. On the back, in shaky blue ink, she wrote. She was the only one who remembered my birthday. Vivian deserves something that lasts. I wasn't there when they found it, but I hope they read it slowly. Because that was the only goodbye I left. And it wasn't from me. It was from her. Later, my dad texted me, no apology, no explanation, just. Section 112G, game night, let's talk. I read it 3 times, then set my phone down. He still thought this was a negotiation. But I agreed to meet him, because by then, he'd seen the backpack. The stadium was full, the air smelled like metal, snow, and hot dogs, the kind of loud you only hear when people need something to yell at. I spotted him right away, Gordon Hale, my father, sitting exactly where he said he'd be, the backpack on his lap like it was either a prize or a warning. He looked older than I remembered, like a man trying to protect a version of the past he couldn't afford to lose. I sat down 2 seats away, not next to him, just close enough for him to know I wasn't afraid. He didn't say hello, just gave me a smug grin, like he was being generous. He tapped the bag and called it our little time bomb, said it wouldn't hold up, that no one would believe some bills, a message from a dead woman, and a signed deed. His voice was low and sharp, too fast, like someone who knew the words weren't working but needed to say them anyway. His hands were tight, his mouth twitched, somewhere between fake confidence and real fear. He kept trying to laugh, but nothing was funny. He told me I was cruel, that I'd embarrassed the family, that people saw the backpack and thought I was trying to get revenge. He said. Mom cried, Rachel's not sleeping, Ava's getting questions at school. Then he asked, what do you want? I looked at him, then at the crowd. People were cheering, yelling, laughing, but none of it touched us. And I didn't say anything. Because he already knew. He just didn't want to admit it. He wanted to control the story. But paper doesn't lie like people do. I stood up, he grabbed my sleeve. I pulled away, gently. I walked up 1 row, turned, and faced him. He flinched, like I was about to shout, but I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. My name is Vivian Hale, I said, loud enough for people nearby to hear, and for 20 years, I paid for this family to function, not because they asked, but because they never thought I'd say no. A woman nearby whispered, isn't that the Hale girl? I paid the bills, the school fees, the groceries, the hospital debt, and when I stopped, they said I was the one who walked away. I held up the folder, the light caught the deed seal, someone took a photo. This is the signed deed for the Hale Lake House. My grandmother gave it to me because I was the only one who stayed, when she needed help the most. My dad tried to interrupt, saying something about legacy or misunderstanding. But I didn't let him. You always said I was lucky you raised me, but the truth is, I raised myself, and then I carried all of you. I dropped the folder at his feet. You don't have to like it, but you don't get to lie about it anymore. Then I walked up the steps, past strangers, past stairs. I didn't rush, I didn't look back. For the first time in my life, I wasn't running from a fight. I was walking out of the role they trapped me in, and closing the door behind me. They didn't call that night, but by morning, my phone was buzzing like it was struggling to stay alive. 27 missed calls, Rachel, Mom, even one from Ava. Then came the messages. First, blame. Rachel said I embarrassed the family, that Ava was crying, that people online didn't understand the full story. She said I used the truth like a weapon, as if that was worse than hiding it. Then, guilt. Mom left a voicemail. Her voice was soft, the way she talked when she wanted something but didn't want to seem like she did. Bevan, please, this isn't who we are, we're family, we just need to sit down and talk. Your father's quiet, Rachel's upset, I miss you. I listened once, then deleted it, that was the most kindness I could give. By afternoon, the story started spreading. Someone must have filmed what happened at the stadium, maybe a neighbor, the kind who always has their phone out, waiting for a moment to go viral. It was online now, no names, just a calm voice, mine, listing all the bills I'd paid for a family that now acted like I never existed. I didn't post it. I didn't need to. The truth has no problem traveling on its own. That night, Ava sent me a voice message, just 1 line, quiet and shaking. I didn't mean it, I didn't know it would matter. She didn't say what she meant, maybe the party, maybe something she said, maybe the way she looked at me afterward, but for once, she said my name like it mattered. I didn't reply. Not because I was mad. But because I was done. 3 days later, someone sent me a screenshot. It was a Facebook post, my mom standing with Rachel and Ava, all smiling, like the pain had only made them stronger. The caption said, sometimes families go through hard seasons, but love finds a way. We believe in forgiveness even when it's not returned. Underneath it, the comments. You're such a strong mama, so proud of you, family always wins. They had taken back the story, changed the ending, made it theirs again. I didn't respond, I didn't correct them, I didn't need to drag the truth back into their house. I'd already left it on their doorstep. Later that week, I was sitting at my kitchen table, barefoot, a warm cup of tea in my hands. The apartment was quiet, the kind of quiet you earn. No buzzing texts, no sweet-sounding voicemails with guilt hidden inside. Then one final message from my father, just 5 words. "You'll regret this, we won't." I let the screen go dark, then I opened my settings and blocked his number, then Rachel's, then Mom's. Not out of anger. Not to hurt them. But because silence, this time, wasn't giving up. It was a choice. And I was finally the one making it. The lake house was smaller than I remembered, paint peeling off near the windows, gutters hanging loose, the porch swing was gone, but it was still standing. Just like me. The deed had already been filed, quietly, legally, it was mine. When the clerk asked if I wanted to tell the family, I shook my head. They'll figure it out. Inside, the house smelled like dust and the lake breeze. Grandma's old floral couch was still there, faded and stubborn. The upstairs bathroom had a leak. The guest room was packed with old craft projects, mostly Rachel's. I boxed up what wasn't mine, left the rest. Some things don't need cleaning. They just need to be cleared away. On the kitchen table, I placed one thing, the photo of me and Grandma June, the one from the backpack. Her handwriting on the back was fading. But I didn't need to read it to remember. Vivian deserves something that lasts. Outside, the lake moved slow and steady, like always, like it didn't care who thought they owned it. I stood on the porch steps with a mug of coffee in my hands, no messages, no missed calls, no one needing something. Just the cold air, the wood under my feet. And the quiet. Not the kind of quiet that makes you feel alone. The kind that lets you breathe again. I didn't post about the house, didn't tell anyone I was there. But I updated my address. Because sometimes, you don't need to burn down your old life. You just need to stop picking up when it calls. And finally move into the life that was always waiting for you.